Well, this is the beginning of our trip. We're just at the police station in Wiluna. It's now 11 o'clock on a Thursday morning and we're off. It's a beautiful day. All the best. It's official, we're on our way out of Wiluna. The Canning Stock Route. Here's Jimmy coming into well 1. Our first well of the Canning Stock Route. Well 1. It's quite a deep well. It's about 20 metres down to the water.
Good water with the top up.
We're turning right onto the Canning Stock Route. Well 2 on the Canning Stock Route on day 1 of our epic journey. Here we are, heading from well 2 to well 3 across the open grasslands. You can sit here and imagine the stockmen herding several thousand head of cattle on the way to the markets. Tank 2A. We're at well 3 on the Canning Stock Route.
I couldn't believe.
Well, it stinks.
I wonder what it was.
Oh, first of all, I thought it was just cricket type stuff.
Frogs
Oh, I thought it
everywhere.
was a cricket jumped in the
Yeah,
water.
so
Someone got squashed there.
Frogs everywhere.
And it smells.
Brackish.
Yeah, the original track is unpassable, so there's a bypass road up here. And that's what well 4A, the Canning Stock Route, day 2 of the trip. Springs, what a lovely spot.
It's not a very deep well either.
Well 4B, drilled by the government. It's not a bad camping area. The truck. Wonder if we could have a truck-free day today. Had a bit of a bad run with a spiked tyre yesterday. Restored well 5. Looks in pretty good condition. Somebody's done a great job here. Restored by the Chamberlain Tractor Club. This is the access to well 5 through Granite Peak Homestead. Way to Perry Springs. The landscape's just starting to change. Some of the hills are starting to form. You fucking will believe the second time this is the other wheel now come off. At Perry Springs, not enjoying the lovely gums etc, but filing away aluminium out of wheel studs. Can you actually believe it? I've got a mechanic here that's absolutely gobsmacked. But we will get there. Well, on the left hand side we might have to replace that, looks a bit bent. Just to prove there's water on the Canning Stock Route, filling up the water containers. Don't look at the shit, just pour it in. Here comes Jimmy into well 7. Bit of tourist stuff after us fixing my truck all day. Well 7, big hole in the ground. Have a look down it. There's water in the bottom of it, but she looks a bit gungy. Well 8 on the Canning Stock Route. Wheeled springs. Day, breeze. believe one of the grey sites. TA54. Oh, World Springs, small fort where they actually fought off the Aborigines. World 10 on the Canning Stock route. Well, 11, Goodwood Soak. Somewhere. The first camel.
Like to do a shortcut out.
World 12. World 12. Canning Stock route. This is what I remember of the Canning Stock route, the rolling sand dunes, the desert oaks, blue skies. Land Rover, not much less of us. 186 Holden motor and a Land Rover. Well, 13, not much left of it. Well, 14, not much left of it. Flooded out, 1984. There's Jimmy waving his arms around. Bit of a look out on the way to World 14, pan out across the plains. Quite wooded actually. Well, 15 on the Canning Stock route. Idyllic little location.
Oh, okay, look up.
Change my water over my washing machine.
Rankin's push bike on the Canning Stock route. There's my truck. Right, disc squealing a little bit from the dust and the spin effects. 15 on the way to Buddy Derby Springs. 16, there's water in the bottom. Derby Springs, what a beautiful spot. You think they've had a hard day? Look at them sitting around on their bums, doing nothing. He's actually broken every rule in the book. He's actually opened a beer before beer o'clock time at 4 o'clock. It's 20 to 4. I don't know, he's a bit of a rebel. That's alright. He's actually talking about my stories last night. Let him into a few secrets. This is what we're going to wake up to in the morning at Derby Springs. Here we are, just driving out of Derby Spring and Derva Hills. A lovely day. We had a very relaxing camp. Jim and Kerry went for a walk over the escarpment. There's plenty of water. Fantastic day. Roots glowing through the rocks. Well, 18 on the Canning Stock Route. What a beautiful day. Looks a bit dilapidated.
Well, palatable. Depends what they call palatable. Eh?
We're at the rock hole. Listen to those birds, they're everywhere. It doesn't look too good here. It's amazing what the cattle and that do into this area. That's the cave where the Aboriginal rock paintings are. Some desert oaks. How beautiful. Beautiful just driving along here today and through this country. Over the sand dunes. We've had some pretty good sand dunes to climb. We're at the Tropic of Capricorn. Jimmy's making sure he's got his picture crossing the tropics. We're munching away and not too unhappy about anything. Not much left to it. Very harsh environment out here. Savoury Creek. We've just crossed it. Pretty straightforward. Savoury Creek, it's quite deep in places. Well, 22. Off to Georgia Boar tonight. Georgia Boar. Quite a nice surroundings. Georgia Boar this morning, put a couple of jerrys of fuel in to make sure we get to the Aboriginal community. Fuel consumption is pretty good. Filled up with fresh water. Some lovely percolated coffee this morning. It was about a little bit too strong. My eyes are about sticking two inches out of my head. I'm wide awake. You see, this is a well-worn track, as you can hear by the corrugations. You can imagine here in 2 months' time after the traffic it'll be horrendous.
Just with shovel. Actually. It turned over and was wet.
Here we are at well 23 fuel dump. We're off into the hills where I went walking last time I was here.
Pretty barely damaged.
Yeah, look at that.
Well 23. Bit run down. Frost still here. Well, Jimmy didn't have to get any fuel. Worked out, taking the hubs out, we can get all the way through. Well, reminiscing of old times. That's where I put in camp last time. Just in underneath there. I can't remember the grass being as high as what it is now. But I really enjoyed that little spot there. Well, 24, Carrow Soaks. Yeah, quite a deep little soak. One day we'll come down that one. we'll go that way. Just crossed over the Wiluna track. This is some of the landscape that we've got a view from. On our way to well 25, heading towards Stewart's Range. I can't get over the spin effects. It's like we're buddy in Africa and waiting for the rhinoceros to come out, or the elephants. 25. Here we are at World 26, but we're about to have a 10-second silence. We've lost the lucky bag. It's very harsh out here. Heard it banging away. I thought it was the rear suspension, but it's sad. It lasted nearly 2 weeks in such a hard environment. I think it was just the strapping arrangement was the weakness, but it did well. World 26. The well has been reconditioned in honour of Alfred Canning. Well 26 and Tiwa well, we are halfway. Left to well 27. Well 27, and I'm just talking to Kerry, and she's starting, the well sickness is starting to come in, and we know how many more are left to go. We're at Thring Rock, they're standing at the top. Thring Rock. There they are at the top. Here we are at our camp just out of Thring Rock. Another puncture and a tyre. Last night we changed over 2 tyres and another one on a rim. During the night, dingoes came in and crapped on me tarp. Well 29, not much here. Well 30, Dinda Jinda. Wheels are 33. Heap of goldfish in the water. Well 35. That's it. We drove all day to see that. Driving through a desert oak forest. Look at the spin effects everywhere. Today we've been driving through conditions where there's bloody trees growing out in the middle of the road. Just felt like we're making our own track today. It's been pretty harsh. We're both pretty tired. Just concentrating, rocking back and forth, back and forth. Mungello native soak. Had to use a GPS to find it. Well 36, we went round and round and round in circles, and this is what well 36 looks like.
Like, isn't it?
Well 36.
He doesn't want to get off, does he?
On our way to L37, it's something different. We've been driving along the top of the sand dunes this morning. Liberal, L37. Love these desert oaks. Well 38.
Budgies.
That's where we're going. What a view.
That must be that way.
On the way to L38. Showing how much you have to work with the wheel to get from A to B. One of the reasons why I haven't filmed very often. Well, 39. Well, over the trees there's 5 camels grazing. We're going to go and find a tree and hopefully watch them graze. Lovely spot. We stopped for lunch. And the desert oaks, the wind blows through it, beautiful. Grave, speared 60407, 40 in a lake. There's the end of the sleepers and that there, well 40. Looks a bit green. The track was a little bit overgrown in some places. At least there's no trees growing out the centre like we've been through. Being some of the earliest people through, certainly we've got to make our own tracks. Well 41, it's been restored. We're about to check to see if there's any water in it. driving in the middle of nowhere and there's big fancy sign jumps out from nowhere. 12:45, not much left of it. Been a long morning. Getting a bit saddle sore. That's where we came from, and there was that sign to say Halls Creek. Must be meaning we're actually heading back into civilization. Bit of a marker, people give some information. Well, 47, getting some water out. Probably that's the track we've just come from. Well, 47. There's a pan to the left. That's where we've travelled from. The Canning Stock route heads south over the plains and lots of sand dunes down to the distance. Just imagine the driving 300 head of cattle down this road. We're still onwards and upwards. We head over to Mount Cromley there and we'll turn left and we'll head north. Heading north into the Braden Hills. I believe this is called Godfrey's Tank. Was that the Braden Hills. Look around, Paul.
The root of the tree down into the fence. Amazing.
Should have a bit more water in it, you could swim. If you want fire.
Braden's Pool. The Braden Hills. Well, 48, all burnt out. There's supposed to be a big hole here, but we're just pondering why would you actually put a well in there when you've got all these hills and that in the background. It was from Spinifex fires on the catalytic converter. Well, 49. Smith's grave. 6k from well 49, a tree blaze was 303. Looks to me 30.3. Everything's burnt out. You end up with just sand, but look at all these little termites. They're everywhere. See, we'll do it at well 51 to 16k, the end of the trip. Well 51. And the windmill's working really well. We got here, we thought we were on the wet weather road, we might have to go right round. Stretch Lagoon, about 30-40k out of Wiluna, just to prove we've done that. Wiluna, Tanami. Alice Springs that way. Do that in 4 weeks. Canning Stock route that way. Halls Creek that way. Coming into Halls Creek. Our epic journey stage 1 is coming to a close. Going into Halls Creek, civilization at last. The tyres and the wheels sound different. Now a bit on dirt for over 2,000k. The Great Wall of China on our way to Old Halls Creek. It's a bit of a gorge, lovely Waterhole.
It's going to go away into the bushes.
Fireplace in the post office. Made of termite nest mud. Have a day off, look at that, just want to sit down.
Oh, yeah, doing it out too.
Old Horse Creek Cemetery. Meadow Horse Creek. Beautiful, gorgeous. Palm Springs. What a lovely spot. Palm Springs. You see the water flowing out of the rocks there. Lovely. Look at that, little fish in the water.
They come swimming up here, don't they?
Yep. Saw Pit Gorge. What a beautiful spot. Jimmy's fascinations with big things.